I recently watched Loki. Now, Deadpool and Wolverine recently came out, and I was told that I don't need to watch Loki, but there's a bit of an exposition dump that you really want to watch Loki for, just to get the experience. Plus, I've been told that Loki is cinema by Squito. And we have some points. We have some overarching points that we wanted to talk about. So first of all, Squito, talk about Loki. What did you think of it? Because I have some thoughts. I want to know what you thought of it.
So Loki is, out of all the Disney Plus MCU shows, Loki's actually the only one I've watched more than once.
Mm-hmm.
And I last rewatched it, I want to say like February or January is when I last rewatched it. But Loki is, to me, I have no flaws I can think of with the show.
Mm-hmm.
Like season 1 and 2 back to back it's just a solid show from start to finish. It grabs you and it doesn't let go until the finale. And it's so good. I honestly hated that we had to wait like, what was it, 3 years for season 2?
It was 2 years, 2.5 years? I think.
Oh my god,
2.5.
Dude, that wait was honestly painful. It was painful.
I hear you.
And then having like the show release weekly, even more painful because you watch a new episode and then a week later you're just like, I gotta wait to see what happens.
I hate that shit. The Boys does the same thing, bro.
Yeah.
Every week, we're really gonna stretch out the monthly buyers. Fuck you, Jack. Just give it to me now, yo. Jesus Christ.
And Loki really pissed me off because like the last 3 or 4 episodes all end on cliffhangers, and I'm like, you sons of bitches.
Bruh. No. Loki, I watched it. I recently watched it back to back. I have plenty of notes. But one thing I will say is it is indeed the best fucking MCU show out there. I don't care. I haven't seen Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I don't think it's better. I doubt it. I haven't seen She-Hulk. I haven't seen these things. I saw WandaVision, and that's what I saw. I may have seen another one and I forget, but I know damn well that there isn't one better than this one. Holy shit. The first season, for me, perfection. I can't think of a better fucking way to write that, to write those sequence of events. I think it's ridiculous how different it is than the normal MCU. Mainly, not because of the comedic formula, but because of the way that they linger on shots. They linger on moments. The way that it's shot and how slow-paced it can be to really emphasize emotions behind really impactful scenes. It's beautiful. Well, for example, one of the points that I really like about season 1 is, once again, how they linger. And the season finale with Kang, they did that the entire fucking monologue. It was like a 20 to 25 minute monologue, like more of a conversation between Loki, Sylvie, and Kang the Conqueror, which he's not called Kang yet, but we know him. And when they were talking with Kang, they had multiple moments where the camera would like slowly zoom in and pull back out. You would hear the music, and they would do like slow surrounding shots. They would take their time with the conversation and really let the dominoes get placed and set up just so they can fall at the end, you know? And I think it had a crazy good ending, season 1. You know, I feel like another example of them really knowing how to drag out scenes and really drag emotions and make you feel the stakes is the end of episode 5 of season 1, when it was Loki and I called her Femlock in the first season. Femlock? Yeah, because, you know, Loki, female Loki, Femlock.
Oh, yeah,
I called her Femlock until season 2, which I actually started calling her Sylvie. Femlock and Loki were both against the big hellhound, the big dog. I don't know what the fuck his name was, but it was a big cloud dog.
Alioth?
Yeah, Alioth. Yes, Alioth. So Alioth was up there in the clouds, and they were versing him. And brother, when old Loki conjured up that city and screamed glorious purpose and was laughing, I was laughing with him. It's like, you mad bastard. Yeah. You know what I mean? He was going up, be like, yeah, I got this distraction. I got him, guys. And the music they were playing, along with that shot of just There was a shot behind both of them. It was Loki and Sylvie, and there was a shot. The camera was behind them, and it just showed the massive city with the dog, like, eating up the city. And they really lingered on those shots. In MCU, it's quick cuts. It's always to the next thing, getting in there, like with the Thanos fights. You always felt like you were in the fight. They never really had any moments where the camera pulled out and showed the stakes, showed the weight of it. Only a couple times, right? Like in the beginning of a massive fight, like in Infinity War, Wakanda forever, and then they run at each other. They never really had any massive shots where they pulled out after that initial sequence. And Loki, that's like what they specialize in, you know, where they drag it out and they really make you see the scale of what they're fighting for. And isn't it crazy how the tension and like the stakes are even higher than Infinity War and Endgame?
It's wild.
That's
how
weird.
They to do that.
Because they're out here having like little John Wick fights, and it's like, this ain't Thanos, but we're talking about the timeline. You know what I mean? We're talking about trillions of lives. You know, it's odd.
It's interesting how creative Loki got with its story.
Yes,
because it's like after Endgame, it's like, all right, where do we go from here? And I think Loki is the perfect next step into like the multiverse saga, as they're calling it. It's that perfect first watch that you needed to get into like the next phase, and you're like, okay, now we're getting somewhere. And it's just so this is Loki from the 2012 Avengers in the beginning of season 1.
Oh, a whole lot of character development needs to happen. Yeah.
So the Loki that we've been following since Thor 1 all the way to Infinity War is gone. He died. He got killed by Thanos. And then so when the Avengers go back in time in Endgame to try and get the Tesseract, Tony gets hit by Hulk and he ends up dropping it, and then so Loki steals it and disappears. And the show starts off showing us where Loki left off, or where he ended up. And it's so creative how, you know, these TVA people show up and you're like, what the fuck is this?
Who are
and
they?
You know, we're following Loki, and Loki has no clue what the fuck is happening.
Yeah.
And it's this like retro futuristic type like office essentially with all these cops and everything, and they're talking about the sacred timeline.
Pause.
And it's
one thing that's crazy about that beginning is that Loki's a god, and he's bested by a guy with a baton. Immediately, you're like, who the fuck are these people? You know?
It catches you off guard.
Yeah. Continue.
Yeah, I think the introduction is literally perfect in how they just kind of welcome you into the TVA in a way. Because you're seeing everything from Loki.
It's as if they're going from like, okay, there's the Avengers movie, and it's a transition into, okay, this is the Loki series. You feel no whiplash whatsoever, which is crazy because like if you watch season 2 out of context, you'd feel whiplash. Holy shit.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That Loki doesn't really hold your hand very much. They do explain, you know, the multiverse and the timeline to you,
but they need to, bro. They need to. You kidding me?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
In that first episode, though, you're like, it's like you're in public with no pants on. You're like, where the fuck are my pants? It's crazy how they just kind of drop you in, and then they slowly start unraveling things to you as the show.
You feel
goes
like
on.
Loki, a fish out of water. You know? It makes sense. I feel like. And one thing I really love is how they delve into the psyche of Loki right away. It's like, okay, how do you tick?
Oh, yeah.
Do you enjoy killing? Do you enjoy causing other people harm? And I like how they dwell on the fact that he's done some bad shit. This guy's not a hero. He killed people. You know, he wanted to rule over people for selfish reasons, you know? All of that. And they really acknowledge that and hammer that away. They don't try to justify it, which I love. I'm glad they didn't try to justify it. Because they tried to do that shit with WandaVision. And I'm like, hey, no. She enslaved people. That's an issue. Okay? You know?
Yeah, no, this show is outright like, Loki's a villain and he's done some bad shit right off the bat. It's okay. And this is not a man to be trusted.
And exactly. And with that knowledge, you never really trust Loki, especially when he's trying to talk when he was trying to talk shit in that tent in the second episode. And it's like, no, she's right outside. No, all this, all that. And there's like bullshit. I smell bullshit. You know, Owen Wilson sniffed it out immediately. He's like, she's not here. Let's go, guys. When as soon as that happened, I'm like, wait, Loki's not. He's not kosher yet. Oh God! And then you start thinking, is he gonna betray Sylvie at the end for the throne? Oh shit! You know, like you never know with this fucking guy. You don't know if it's all an act. You don't know if he really died. That kind of thing. It's always a trick. It's always a trick.
Yeah, and I think I agree with you saying that season 1 is perfect because thinking back to it, like I said, it's been a while since I've rewatched it. But thinking back to season 1, I love how you mentioned that you don't trust Loki because we know he's a bad guy, but you also don't trust the TVA
Oh yeah.
because
Oh
you see
yeah.
everything that they're doing.
Uh-huh.
Protecting the quote unquote sacred timeline. What does that really mean? And I like that Sylvie is kind of the catalyst for that of the TVA is bad and what they're doing is bad. And
Right.
but you also don't like Sylvie because she's another Loki and you don't trust her either.
No, of
And
course you don't fucking like Sylvie because Sylvie
Yeah.
outright is like the antithesis of Loki immediately. Like she has different powers. She's taking advantage of people. Like, oh my god, bro. That fucking scene with Roxcart where they were in that like budget Best Buy in Texas
Yeah.
with the hurricane. That entire sequence was cinema, bro. That shot where they were walking into the store and it was raining. That's what I mean by lingering shots. In the MCU, they would have just walked in like the movies. But in the TV show, they have that fucking shot. They linger on it for like a solid 30 seconds where they're just walking in and you got the slow motion. Like we're about to walk into some crazy shit. That little dragging of events, it may seem a bit redundant at first glance, but brother, in the moment, you really feel that tension pulling. It's like, yeah, she's here. We're gonna see the rogue variant. All of this is gonna happen. It's build up. It's great build up.
And I think it's worth noting how Loki manages to also have humor while still keeping the stakes intact.
Oh, yeah.
That scene that you mentioned when they walk into the supermarket all rainy, and then they walk in, everyone's fucking drenched, and then Loki just uses magic to dry himself,
It's
like
relax.
it's fucking nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of Marvel stuffs, I think particularly like Endgame uses humor a lot, but I feel like they kind of cut the tension a lot for a joke. Like you have the intense fight when Captain America's fighting like the version of him from the past, and then after the fight he just kind of stops, and that is America's ass. And I feel like that kind of ruins the tension of like them trying to get the stones in the moment. But in this one it's just natural because it's something Loki would do. He dries himself off, and then Owen Wilson kind of gives him like a "you bastard" kind of look. He's like, "I wish I could do that."
Well, I feel like comedy, for the sake of tension, is probably the biggest example of that. Well, one of the biggest examples of that is in Endgame when Tony Stark got fucking decked by Hulk. Like,
oh yeah,
Hulk killed him. I just want to point that out. Like, Tony Stark should not be alive, okay? He's pushing 60. And Holmes got fucking ragdolled, and he's okay. Everything's fine, like, come on. It was funny. I'm just saying, it's like, maybe he should have gotten hit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe he got scared or some shit, or maybe he got hit, but nowhere near as hard as that. Like, he got fucking decked. It was crazy.
Oh yeah.
Didn't he fly up in the air? Like, he got hit by the door and he fucking
flew back. Yeah.
Whoosh. She's like, damn. Did he land into Thor at least? Like, at least that I would have taken. I think he hit the ground.
No,
he slid on the floor.
Yeah, he like slid because he was wearing like the full body armor, and I think it just made him slide across the floor.
It's ridiculous. Anyway, with Loki, I think it was the craziest thing was that initial reveal of Sylvie. It's like, you're a woman?
Yeah.
It's like, that's not me. But wait, it is me, but from a different time. Like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I think it was a great reveal. I think the build up to it was great. I love the idea that the rogue variant of Loki, who has stayed hidden her entire life, actually hides in Nexus events that are already occurring, apocalypses. I think it's such a great cover. It's ridiculous. Well, apocalypses aren't Nexus events. They're supposed to happen, but the fact that what she does or surrounding apocalypses don't matter because everything's going to be wiped out anyway is such a genius idea. I would have never thought of that. I mean, honest, that is a great idea. Yeah, it's literally perfect. And it's the perfect motivation for her character. She grew up around apocalypses, the end of the world. And so, of course, she's a fucking cynic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, nothing matters to her.
Yeah, nothing matters. She just wanted to get her revenge. And that shows at the end,
Yeah. And then like the apocalypse thing, like the reveal of it, how we learn as an audience is perfect too, because it's Owen Wilson and Loki going back to what is it, like Pompeii with the volcano,
Oh,
and
Pompeii
then Loki
was
just starts like
hilarious.
I can do whatever I want and nothing matters, and he's like just yelling in the streets and doing random shit,
Letting
and then
the
Owen
pigs
Wilson's
go.
like, oh.
Throwing
Yeah, he's like,
magic, yeah.
yeah. And Owen Wilson's just, well, nothing's changed. And it's such a good reveal.
Oh, man, I like how Loki looked back. I don't know what he said, but he said something funny. He looks at Owen,
Yeah,
and
he
he
did.
puts his hands out. It's like, oh, you happy? And then explosion happens behind him, and volcano erupts. It's like, oh,
And
shit.
it's like, we need to go.
Dude, I laughed hard as soon as it's like, okay, we need to test this theory out. And then it showed the card. It showed the words Pompeii. I'm like, oh, fuck. Oh, shit. That was literally like the best way they could have done that. It's like, what's a historical event that killed thousands? Pompeii.
For me, I know it's not a callback, but for me, it made me think of Night at the Museum with Owen Wilson, because you remember he was like the really small like cowboy dude.
Wow, yeah.
I forget which Night at the Museum movie it was, but there was like a Pompeii like diorama kind of, and he was in that, like him and then the other small like Roman dude were like in that diorama, and I remember them running from like the fake volcano or whatever.
Oh man, those movies are cinema. Not gonna lie, I completely forgot that Night at the Museum had a third entry. I completely forgot.
Yeah.
I gotta watch those movies again.
I only remember the first two.
Yeah,
I don't
same.
remember anything about the third.
Probably because it wasn't that good. I don't know. I gotta look into it.
Maybe. Got to give it a try.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
With Loki, okay. First of all, I gotta say I like Sylvie's character a lot. I like the fact that she's a cynic. I like the dialogue between her and Loki. Episode 3 was a great example of that. Como se dice? First of all, I just want to point out that like the fight choreography in this show is like it's levels. It's not bad. You know what I mean? It's not perfect. There are some issues, that I see, but overall, it's really strong. And I didn't expect this level of fight choreography in a Loki show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like they got some guys from Shang-Chi, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was great.
It's weird. I this might be a personal preference, but I like the direction in season 2 more than season 1, because season 1 still has some great shots, and the fight choreography is not bad, but I feel like season 2, I just love, because they go for more of like a handheld camera kind of look in season 2, and you can feel it when you go from the finale of season 1 and immediately jump to start watching season 2. You can feel the difference in okay, they changed directors.
It definitely feels more grounded, especially with episode 3 when they went back to, I think it was 1893, something like that.
Yeah.
And they were going back to see like what's the fucking name that I had? I wrote it down and everything. Yeah, it was Victor Timely, but he had a drip. The Frederick Douglass strip. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, when they went back to talk to Frederick Douglass, that to be honest, I enjoyed the sets in that episode. I even enjoyed the cinematography and some of the moments. But if I had to name a weakest episode in the series, it's that episode. I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's for sure.
At 100.
For sure.
I'm glad that's not controversial. It's easily the weakest one.
Yeah. I really enjoy Victor Timely as a character.
Yes.
And I think Jonathan Majors' performance is really good in that episode. But the episode overall is really weak.
And man, one thing I want to point out. I think the weakest character in the show, and I guess we're getting into some negatives. The weakest character in the show, it's a hard pick because she's not bad. You know what I mean? She's definitely got some good moments, but Judge Renslayer, for me, the weakest out of everyone there. You know what I mean? And mainly not because she doesn't fit the role. She fits the role. It's just that she's despicable. In the first season, she did horrible things, and the fact that she's clutching at the old ways, the old TVA, is more of just a hindrance, distraction. For example, the fact that she saw what Kang did to her. Oh, he threw me away like waste and took away my memory. Now all of a sudden, it's not about the big picture. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, it's not about saving the TVA. All of a sudden, what's weird is that she was able to persevere through so much, and she still had her ways, and she still wanted to find a way to restore the TVA to its old order. And then right at the beginning of of episode 4 of season 2, she's thinking, oh, you know what, fuck this. He broke up with me. Nah, we're getting back. You know, that's it. It just felt selfish, and it doesn't really feel like a redemption of her character in any way. You know.
Yeah, I don't have a problem with Renslayer much in season 1. Like, I get that you need an antagonist, especially within the TVA itself.
And she played her role well. She was a bitch in season 1. Go ahead.
Yeah, but in season 2, it just felt like, okay, we need to bring this character back, but what do we do? And so I get that she was a great way to introduce Victor Timely, and kind of like you introduce more of Kang through her, but besides that, she didn't really have anything to do.
And one thing I want to ask, why did she kill the chapter of TVA Loyalist with the square?
I think it's because they weren't going to join her.
Right, but they were locked in a cell.
To be basic. Yeah.
My thing is, right, is that her plan is to set everything correct, right? And all she needs is Kang for that. And those loyalists weren't going to stop her because they are currently locked in a cell awaiting death for war crimes. So why kill them? As a plot device?
Maybe, but even then, those deaths didn't really have any effect on the later...
Which is my point.
Story.
Why kill those people that could potentially be on your side? You know, because the thing is that the TVA, those TVA loyalists, what they wanted is they wanted to kill all the branching timelines so the timeline wouldn't collapse, right? And when it came to Judge Renslayer wanted to get Kang back to like his, you know, to his original self or whatever, right? He's like, you're going to tell me how to fix this. You're going to tell me how to do it. I understand that the loyalists didn't want to team up with her, but why kill them all? It doesn't make sense. It felt like it was a cheap way to make Judge Renslayer more diabolical than she really is.
Like evil.
It felt cheap. It really did. Because let me tell you something. That scene, well shot. And seeing Brad's face as they all get squished, I like that. It was strong. There was emotional resonance there. But why do it? In the first place, it doesn't make sense. Why kill all of those people who are not in your way? At all. Like, for example, if they were guarding the door or like they were trying to attack her, you know, something like that, sure. But all they did was like, you know, I'm not going to join you. Oh, okay. I'm going to take Brad. Bye. That's all they had to do. That's because they're not going to get in her way. They're not going to get recruited. They're not going to do... What is it like? Oh, just in case they get recruited. You do realize there's still plenty of TVA that aren't in that cell. Yeah,
exactly. You know? There's like 100 guards outside that door.
Yeah. So once again, it's like, why kill those people? I still don't get it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm missing something. If someone knows, please let me know in the comments. But from what I'm seeing, it just seemed like a cheap stunt. You know, I really feel
honestly My recollection of Renslayer in season 2 is very, like, foggy.
Because she didn't do much.
Well, yeah, she didn't really do anything. And they didn't give her much to do.
I tell you what she did do. She did drop off the book for Kang, so Kang can become, I keep getting the fucking name.
Victor Timely.
Yeah, Victor Timely, but I know his real name, but I really need to call him by his drip name. What's his fucking name?
His drip name?
His drip name. Frederick Douglass. Yeah, fucking Frederick Douglass. They gave him the book, and so he became Frederick Douglass, and now he's tough. He's smart as shit, you know. So she did that, and then it was the whole like, but I want Jonathan Majors. I want He Who Remains to be. I want Victor Timely to become He Who Remains, while Loki just wants him to remain Victor Timely. You know. Yeah. And so I understand that that's what you want. The He Who Remains should come back, but if there's a way to where we don't have to have He Who Remains come back, because He Who Remains is a piece of shit. Even she thinks so, you know? Yeah. So if there's a way to keep Victor Timely and fix the problem, why wouldn't you be in agreement with that? Why isn't that something you would want to do? Maybe she doesn't trust Owen and Loki enough. Owen Wilson, Mobius. Maybe she doesn't trust Mobius enough and doesn't trust Loki enough to make that decision. But like, I don't know. Once again, it seems a bit pig-headed. Why are they fighting each other for the same goal? Now, Sylvie, I understand. Sylvie, I 100% understand. She doesn't want any fucking trace of the guy to be alive. You know what I mean? Because she's angry. She's clouded. She's traumatized, and it makes sense. The judge? No. No, there's no reason. These are old memories. You know what I mean? This is not something you had to live in. This is something that you believed in for the longest time and had to make the tough decisions, which is what the story was all about. It's like, oh, the judge made a tough decision for Mobius way back when. So she's always about the bigger picture. And then when it comes to the bigger picture, she noticed that she got dropped by the bigger picture, and now she's a fucking angry ex-girlfriend. Like, what's going on? I think it was a severe drop in IQ points for that character, which sucks because she was pretty fucking smart in the first season. I liked her a lot in the first season, mainly because of how much of a bitch she could be, bro. When she pruned Loki, I'm like, oh, you bitch. Yeah. You know? Fuck's sake.
I think at the end of the day, like, her arc was just really useless in the grand scheme of things in season 2 because they're dealing with the Loom for the whole season, and so when you like look at Renslayer's journey and what she's trying to do, it's so insignificant compared to trying to save the fucking multiverse.
Especially with Loki and Sylvie just taking it over like that. Oh, fuck you, prune, bye. You know, like it was a fucking sideshow.
Yeah. Sylvie should have killed her.
Yeah, I'm being honest. They should have just fucking killed her and be over. And there's just no reflection on the actor. The actor did great with what she had. I'm saying...
Oh, yeah, no, I like the actress.
Yeah, if we both... Listen, that goes without saying, right? But you gotta fucking say it nowadays. You know what I mean? So anyway, that goes without saying that that she played her role to perfection. She did well with what she had. What I'm saying is that the writing for that character felt so off and felt so pointless. It's like... Why even introduce her back? Or if you introduce her, just have her play a smaller role. She doesn't need to be involved in every moment. Why does she need to be the negative force against Loki and Mobius and their plan when their plan is already hard enough? You know what I mean? It just didn't make sense. But even then,
why did Sylvie spare her again?
Sylvie pruned her.
She did because she ended up.
She ended up in the voids. She ended up in the void. She didn't stab her in the pack. She pruned her. You know, so like, hey, that's good enough. You know, just get her out of here. We don't need to kill her. You know what I mean? Like, that makes sense. I'm just surprised Sylvie was the one to pull that trigger. You know?
Yeah, right. You think she would just stab her right there? Sylvie's full of hate, bro.
Yeah,
she's ruthless.
Sylvie is pissed off, and she doesn't care if the world ends, if the timelines end. In the end of season 5, she looked Loki straight in the eye and is like, sometimes it's okay to let the world burn. Or in episode 6, rather, the season finale, she told her, it's like, some things are just meant to end, something along those lines. And so it's like, damn, she really doesn't give a shit. She doesn't care, you know. So it's like, okay, well, to be honest, as Loki, let's talk about the ending. There's a lot to talk about, but let's talk about the ending. First of all, I thought the build up to Loki and the ending was a bit confusing. Okay, now, I did catch up on all of it. I did understand it, but I can understand how somebody who wasn't paying anywhere near as much attention as I would, because I was like 100% locked in, right? If I wasn't 100% locked in, I don't know where the fuck I'm going. It was ridiculously complicated. You know, it's like, oh, we're going to do this. Oh, we're going to do this instead. Como se dice? The biggest driving force with me was the visual at the end. It was never explained. Everything in the entire show is like thoroughly explained by like either Mobius or OB. You know, it's like they're having conversations and they're constantly explaining everything. And I enjoy those conversations because they're fast paced and it's like the characters are making discoveries alongside you, which is strong. You know, you're like in their shoes. But with the ending, there was no explanation. It was just some visualization, which I don't mind. I'm just saying that it could confuse most people. You know, I'm glad I picked up on it. But like, I hate to say dumber people. General audiences, they're lost in the mud with that one. You know what I mean? It is what it is.
Yeah, I feel like the only kind of sense that the show gives you is, you know, when you see all the different timelines kind of like strung about.
Yes.
And it's like, oh, the timelines are dying. And then when Loki grabs them and then they start glowing, it's like, okay, he's saving them.
Yeah, he rejuvenated
like,
them with life. That's the music
Yeah.
helped with that. You know that
Exactly.
the
Yeah.
translation.
So that's like all the exposition the show gives you in that moment.
Right.
It's just
Which
the dead timeline. Loki saving them.
I respect the show for that. To be honest, if I
Yeah.
want to break it down, I respect it. They didn't have to explain it like
Made
that.
it a lot more powerful.
Absolutely. I agree. I just want to point out that like I'm 100% sure there's a lot of people who watched that finale and they were not what's the word? They were not okay with it. They didn't like it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like, oh, now he's sitting in the tree. What the fuck is he doing?
Mm-hmm.
It looks exactly how it sounds. It is exactly how it looks. Loki is sitting on that throne holding all of the timelines as they branch out till the end of time.
Yep.
He's literally just sitting there, keeping the branches alive with his own power.
He is the loom.
Exactly. The loom is no longer mechanical and man-made. It's natural and it's imbued with the magic, you know? It's with all the things that Loki learned over those centuries, perhaps millennia of learning all the theoretical physics that OB knows, everything that Casey knows, and then all of his magic evolving, and then learning about time skipping, learning about everything. All that made him powerful enough to just completely withstand the radiation of the what's the word? The radiation of the timeline. And once he was able to get all of those timelines together and weave them into a big like elder green tree like in Skyrim, you know, once he was able to finally do that, the tree allows all of the timelines to exist and to branch out infinitely because it's natural. The roots will continue to grow, that kind of thing. The branches will continue to grow, and it has an infinite amount of space to do that now. But the only reason why that tree exists is because Loki is in the middle of it, constantly using power, constantly holding those timelines together. He has officially made the ultimate sacrifice, and the only reason why anybody is still alive today is because of Loki, which is fucking crazy. It's glorious purpose. Dude is literally God now.
Basically, pretty much he is God. Yeah, and it's a sacrifice too. Like that, it's played off as a sacrifice because it is. Now he has nothing to do but sit there and hold the timelines.
He has nobody that can come to where he is because of the radiation and how bad those timelines are. I mean, they're tough. Look what happened to Timely. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Dude, man, that fake out at the end of episode 4 was cinema. Oh my god. It's like, Victor Timely, I'm gonna go out there, I'm gonna put the thing in the thing, I'm gonna press the green button. Okay. And it's like, finally he's gonna do it. I can't wait. He opens the doors and immediately gets Chef Boyardee'd. Holy shit. Holmes got spaghettified.
Shit. It's played off as gonna be so heroic and everything, and you're like, oh, this is gonna be intense. Like, you know, he's gotta make it back as soon as the door opens.
Oh,
boom.
Fuck.
Gone. Oh shit.
And then everyone's like, what happened? What happened? What happened? Oh no, dude, Mobius was so confused. It's like he never got the answer. It's like, guys, what happened? What did he do? What is he okay? And everyone's just looking into the abyss as the explosion happens. Like, oh shit. Fuck. It was ridiculous, man. Oh my god. No, fuck, I cannot imagine being in that fucking room. The tension. Oh shit.
You have this plan, it's like 1 in a million, and it's gotta work. It's now or never. And then your one fucking saving grace gets disintegrated as soon as he walks out there.
He didn't even get 3 steps in, bro. They didn't drag that out at all. They just cut it right then and there. It's like, oh wait. This isn't canon. This isn't supposed to happen. Wait a minute. Yeah, because you're thinking like it's gonna be like Owen Wilson, you know. But when Mobius went in there and he went all the way down, and then he came back, and then Loki came in last minute and shot into him. By the way, that scene was genius. Yeah. I did not think that anyone was going to die in that scenario where Mobius was in the timeline chamber, But dude, they once again, the cinematography and the music really drags out the tension. And it's ridiculous how fucking close it was, you know?
Yeah.
But what happened at the end of episode 4 really just told you, was like, hey, the rules, throw them out. Throw them out. They no longer exist. You know what I mean?
Dude, I'm telling you, watching it on a week-to-week basis, dude, episode 4 pissed me the fuck off. Because how do you end it like that?
Yeah, I can't imagine. Dude, I was like writing the notes, and at the end of the notes for episode 4, I'm just like, get me to episode 5 already. I'm typing this, and I'm like, oh, Jesus. I'm holding myself back right now. Come on. It's ridiculous. Yeah, like it's such insane. Episode 4 was such a massive jump from episode 3, because episode 3 was boring. I'm just being honest. Like there is competent filmmaking here. I'm 100%. And you know what? To be honest, there's some stuff here that's better than other MCU shows. Of course. But let's just be honest here. Episode 3 had way too much of ¿cómo se dice? Of weak character building in a sense. Like, for example, I like Victor Timely's introduction. That entire scene, keep it. You know what I mean? I like it. What I don't like is that, ¿cómo se dice? Once again, the budding romance between Judge Renslayer and Victor Timely. That entire sequence, just cut it out. It's not needed. Yeah. It's not needed. And ¿cómo se dice? I liked Loki looking at the what's the word? Like the... what was it called? Like the Asgard recreation? What's a monument? Something along those lines.
Yeah, it's like the Norse mythology.
Yeah.
And it was like Thor and
Odin
his brother.
and Bjorn. Not Bjorn. Yeah. Whatever the fuck his name is. It doesn't matter. But when he was looking at that...
Balder.
Yes. And so he's like... That,
I was thinking God of War.
He's like, that's not even accurate. What is this? Balder don't look like that. You know? But like, I like that scene. A little dumb comedy. I like it. I also like when Loki... the big tall guy is like, yeah, why don't we settle this outside? Get that shit out of here. he ashifies him. Like, is he dead? Wait a minute, is he dead? Did Loki kill him? Wait a minute. Whoa.
Yeah. And then when they walk outside, you see he's in a cage.
Yeah. It's like, oh, okay. Yeah. Thank fuck.
Yeah. But they waited. They didn't show you right away.
They let you know. It's like, Loki's a god. Remember, he's not just some guy. You know.
Yeah.
Remember that. You know. It was I do think that even though it was the weakest episode, it was still strong. You know what I mean? It was still strong. It's just
still entertaining.
It's still entertaining. Yeah. It's just, to be honest, I would fast forward through it if I rewatched it.
How'd you feel about Miss Minutes being horny for?
Oh yeah. No, you know what? I'm not even mad at it, because think about it. Miss Minutes is artificial intelligence, and not only that, because she's constantly learning and evolving. But not only that, but Miss Minutes has spent literally eternity with him. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if she's gonna be,
she's definitely gonna get feelings.
If she's gonna be attracted to anybody, right? Yeah. I mean, literally, it's kind of ridiculous. Okay. In fact, I'm happy that they pulled the trigger on it, because it was fucking hilarious. Okay.
Yeah. It was such a great moment. I know a lot of people were put off by it, but I fucking loved it.
Miss Minutes was basically like, "Let me love you," and then he turned the off button. He's like, "Hey, calm down." Jesus Christ.
But she started off slow. It's like, how come you never gave me a body?
Yeah.
And then he's just kind of like, I don't know what to do in this situation. Oh, like his face is like, oh shit.
Whoa. It was too good. No, como se dice? I enjoyed the banter. The comedy almost always hit. You know what I mean? So that's definitely something I want to add.
Real quick, I want to talk about one of my favorite scenes in season 2. I believe it's the first episode. It's when Loki... It might be the first or second episode. It's when Loki gets back to the TVA. Mm-hmm. This is when he's time slipping, right? And so he's in the TVA, but he's going like back and forth through time. And the mural on the wall. So like, you know how like normally it has like the timekeepers and like, you know, it's a TVA sacred timeline. Yes. And then when everyone's in that room and he grabs the baton from the security, he's trying to warn them, right? It's like, he who remains, he's coming. And, you know, nobody's believing him, and so the guard is threatening to prune him. And so he grabs the baton, and he prunes the wall, and then you just see this mural of Kang, of He Who Remains. Dude, I feel like that one scene built him up like Thanos.
Yeah, very much so.
He was, like, it made him feel terrifying.
No, you know what really solidified his power? was the season 6 finale when he's like, I could have just freezed you whenever I wanted, right? He froze Sylvie. He did this, and then he instantly caught on that Loki had done this 1,000 times. It's like, dude really just had all the cards. Like, what the fuck?
It's insane.
Shit is crazy, bro.
That's aura.
Yeah, right? No, that's what I'm saying. And it sucks that Jonathan Majors did all that crazy shit and got fired because dude could pull it off. I did not like the like I said, I didn't like the little love triangle, with Renslayer. But besides that, like, what Timely was around, like OB and KC and like the chemistry off of all of them. Basically, when he was in the TVA. When Victor Timely wasn't doing his presentation, when Victor Timely was doing his presentation, and when Victor Timely was in the TVA, was when Victor Timely was good, in my opinion. That's it. Yeah. And I really enjoyed the character. I really enjoyed Jonathan Majors' performance in both aspects. He Who Remains and Victor Timely.
Yeah.
And como se dice, I can definitely agree with you that dude has aura. He definitely has aura. Yeah. And it got squashed in Quantumania, but it's okay. It's okay. Oh, yeah. It's all right.
Hey, I will argue that he's still probably the best part of that movie.
Oh, no, of course. No, it's not even close. It's not even close.
Yeah.
The thing is, right, it's not hard to be better than dog shit. You know what I mean? So it is what it is. I'm sorry. Quantumania pissed me the fuck off to no end. And they wasted a perfectly good Bill Murray cameo. Fuck me. You know what I mean? Jesus Christ.
I know usually after celebrities do bad shit, the internet like collectively just stops talking about him. But I think Jonathan Majors still deserves praise for his performance.
Yeah, he did great.
Because he played Kang, He Who Remains, and Victor Timely, and all three feel entirely different from one another. They even have their own little tics, which is insane. Yeah, I mean, Victor Timely with the stutter. His stutter was believable.
He's in it.
He really he was in it.
And then he does Creed 3. It's like, what the fuck? Hold on, you're a boxer now? Wait a minute. It's crazy. Yeah. Let me tell you something. We're praising the work of Jonathan Majors. I don't know enough about the person, so I'm not praising the person. I don't know anything about him. I know a couple things, but nothing crazy. I know headlines. That's it. So we're not praising the individuals. Yeah. We're praising the work. And Brother's work was off the charts. I'm just being honest. So
yeah. Separate the performance from the actor, guys.
Yeah, that's it. Because I love the MCU more than I dislike Jonathan Majors. It really is that simple. Yeah, and
I hate when I tell people like Baby Driver's my favorite movie, and they're like, "Is that the one with Kevin Spacey?" He's like, "Yeah, he's good in it."
Yeah, fight
me.
What? Fight me, real life. Is that Ansel Elgort? It's like, oh Jesus, stop it, bro. Jeez, for 2 minutes. It's a good movie. That's it. They already got paid.
Facts. You know what I mean? Whatever we say is not going to stop that.
Yeah, exactly. They already got paid. It's not like they get residuals. You know what I'm saying? Calm down.
Yeah.
That shit's ridiculous. But I think Loki, the first season was just pure and utter cinema. Yeah, I really do think that the first season was something so special and something like so once upon a time, like once in a lifetime kind of thing. Just lightning in a bottle. Once again, and you know how it was lightning in the bottle? You mentioned this a couple podcasts ago that the last podcast actually, that the MCU is at its best when it's at its weirdest.
Yes,
the MCU is at its best when it's wacky as fuck, when it innovates as much as it possibly can, and the MCU is perfect at that, and Loki was perfect at that, 100%.
Mm-hmm. I mean, at the end of the day, comic books are weird and crazy. I mean, when you really like break down these characters to their most simple parts, you're like, this shouldn't make any sense.
Right.
This is weird, but it works.
And I feel like a big part of that is how they humanize the characters, right? I mean, for example, if this was a show about non-humanoid figures, then we would never get anywhere with the characters because we can't attach ourselves to them. But when these characters have real world issues, like accepting oneself and forgiving yourself for past mistakes and finding purpose in life, those are all things that we struggle with as human beings. And seeing a god like Loki having those same issues humanizes him. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm. And it's crazy, too, because, a lot of MCU movies, really try to push the jokes and like the action and cameos and all that. But with Loki, the scenes that really stand out are, Loki and Owen Wilson sitting at a table eating pie.
Yes.
It's insane.
There's
that's good writing.
There's usually two things in a film that you remember the most, and that's the character work and the spectacle, right? Now, the spectacle could be surface level at times, but a lot of the times the spectacle could, when it's deserved, is really memorable. For example, Infinity War. Wakanda forever! The big charge. It makes sense. The snap at the end, the spectacle. But the reason why that spectacle is so fucking memorable is because it's deserved, and it's deserved through making us care for the characters. It is what it is. So you need character work to make spectacle memorable, and character work in itself is memorable when done correctly. And I agree. That moment, that scene was like, let's go get some key lime pie. I was like, well, hold on, really? We're pulling a Men in Black? Hold on.
Dude, season 2 really made me want key lime pie.
Yeah, I've never tried it before. I hear it's ass from some people, and I hear it's great from others. I've never had it, so I'll see.
I had it once and I didn't like it, but watching Loki, I was like, damn, that looks good.
No, dude, you know what season 2 of Loki made me want? I told you this earlier. Season 2 of Loki made me want to buy a Ford pickup truck and drive down to the closest McDonald's and eat on the trunk. You know what I mean? That's what it was. Literally, like that. I don't know, like something about Sylvie, like working at a McDonald's is literally perfect. Like all that shit is aesthetic as fuck. When she was walking out into the parking lot and she just opened the trunk door and sat on the door, I'm like, oh, this shit is cozy, I see why. This is the life, you know what I mean? It's great.
Yeah. And I love that. Out of all the things that Sylvie could have done after freeing the timeline, she just goes to McDonald's.
I want to try everything.
I
love it, man. Sylvie's character, I love her. I think she's great.
Oh, yeah. She's great. I was really annoyed by her, but it's because, it's like you mentioned earlier, she's the antithesis of Loki, the one that, our Loki, the one that we know.
Right.
And so because of that, I did find her, like, pretty annoying towards the end. It's like, come on, why can't you just be on his side?
God damn it! But, yeah. You're looking for my blessing to kill me, huh? Well, you're not going to get it. It's like, well, if I kill you, things get a lot easier,
Exactly, yeah.
God damn it. Yeah, me personally, I would have killed her. Fuck that. I'm not sitting at no fucking throne for eternity. Are you kidding me? Nah. That's why Loki's so powerful. It's so strong to us. It's like, are you kidding me? He made that sacrifice for this bitch? Nah. It can't happen. I'm good.
Yeah. And then real quick, I want to jump back to season 1. One of my favorite scenes is the reveal of the timekeepers being robots.
Oh yeah, no, I thought that initially is like when they were revealed, is like, these guys are weak. They're not even real, are they? I bet like I had the hunch immediately as like they're probably, I didn't think that they were robots. I just thought, okay, someone else is pulling the strings. This is too early. You know what I mean? It's just too early, and their reveal wasn't anything big. So I'm like, someone else is pulling the strings. But when they turned out to be androids, I'm like, oh shit. Oh shit! It's great.
That whole scene had me hyped. I was like, bro, what the fuck is happening?
Let me jump to season 2 real quick. Season 2, I remember when they had to restart the entire system for the timeline. It's like, let's reboot the system. And the thing is, if we reboot the system, we lose everything. Even the dampeners for the powers, so they can use them when the system's restarted. And immediately when he mentioned the dampeners, they're like, turn that shit off! Are you kidding me? Yeah, like, turn it off immediately! He's like, wait, you can turn that off? The fuck? Turn it off!
Exactly.
Yeah. And immediately they use their powers to get the best of them. It was hilarious. I love it. Anyway, back to... Go ahead.
One of my favorite additions to season 2 was Obi.
Oh, Obi was amazing. Bro was great in Everything Everywhere All at Once, and he's great in this one too.
Yeah.
Obi was perfect.
It's comedy gold when he's having the same conversation in 2 different points in time. He's having it with Loki, and then he's having the same thing with fucking Owen Wilson.
Dude, what I loved is right at the beginning is like, I have to stay on top of this work, otherwise it really piles up. No sleep. No sleep. And then he keeps working. It's like, oh, poor fucking guy. Jesus Christ. Bro got yanked from the middle, and then when they revealed that he was a failed artist, it's like, oh fucking hell.
Yeah, just tragic, man.
Yeah, no. And then afterwards, like when he finally got the handbook to work on the portal, he went over, and then Loki went over to talk to Mobius. Fucking like 10 minutes later, OB comes out with a portal. Is like, damn, that was quick. You made the portal really fast. It's like, actually, it took me 18 months, 19 months if you count the month that I took off because my wife left me and I lost my job. Hold on, wait a minute. Whoa! Poor fucking guy, dude. Jesus Christ, OB.
For the greater good, all right?
Yeah,
he
for
was
real.
doing it for the greater good.
For real. Jesus Christ. But it's crazy. Once again, it's like when Loki's like, well, how fast can you make a portal? It's like without any knowledge. I mean, it could take an entire lifetime. And then Loki looked in his jacket and he pulled out the book. Immediately, like, yeah, he got the book. He got the book. You know, it was great. Just peak cinema all around. And OB was indeed a amazing addition to the cast. I love OB. He's hilarious.
Yeah, he's so funny.
Fucking Donkey Doug, he's in the show too. Casey. Oh my god. Yeah. The fact that he was an Alcatraz prisoner, oh, I lost it. It's like, oh shit, Donkey Doug is actually a Rugrat? That's wild. Oh man. Donkey Doug is a character from The Good Place with what's her name? The main chick.
Kristen Bell.
Yeah, Christian Bell, that one.
Yeah.
Good shit.
He's the best friend of Jason.
Yeah, Donkey.
Yeah.
Immediately when I saw his face, like, is that fucking Donkey Doug? No way.
Bro, he pops up in random shit every now and then. He's cool.
No, I'm surprised. I was surprised he was more involved in season 2. You know, I was like, oh shit, he's actually smart? Oh, that's wild.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Oh, you're watching this, like, you know, after the fact, but I remember back when season 1 started, actually episode 1 when that first came out, the scene when Loki's at Casey's desk and he opens the drawer and sees all the Infinity Stones, and it's like, oh, those are useless.
Yeah.
We mostly use them as paperweights around here.
Holy
People
shit.
were pissed at that. But
Yeah,
to me,
yeah,
it's
I
just
remember that.
Marvel. It's just Marvel being like, yeah, we're not doing that anymore. It's like we're just gonna push that to the side.
No,
That
I
story's
remember
over.
that because people thought that like that devalued Infinity War and Endgame. Is like, oh, you're telling me the stakes were nothing? Is like, well, yeah, in the grand scheme of things, I mean, it's one timeline, and we've established in Endgame that there are an infinite amount of timelines now. You know, rather that there are other timelines, and then in Loki they establish infinite. But still, you know, it's like there are multiple timelines here, guys. You keep that in mind. It's not just one timeline. So. It's crazy to think that people were mad at that decision. It's like, oh yeah, no, they're paperweights. Dude, Infinity Stones are not useful in other timelines. We know that. It makes sense, you know. And a lot of these Infinity Stones
pull them out of their universe. They're rocks.
yeah. And another thing is that a lot of these stones, they come from rogue variants. They come from either Loki or whatever. They come from different variants, and so they don't use them because the TVA has no use for them because they go to different timelines all the time. They can't use them.
Yeah. It would have been great if we saw the TVA have like a variant Thanos and they just prune him.
Yeah.
It's like just out of nowhere. You're like, is that fucking Thanos? And then just TVA casually.
I will conquer everything in the universe. Ah!
I feel like that joke would have really fit. I wouldn't have minded it.
I wish that's a season 3 thing. That's what that is. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Nah, man, Loki for me was something special, and you know, you told me it was the best in the MCU verse, and that you thought it was cinema, and I was thinking, you know what, I'm sure it's good, but I'm also sure that it's not the best. Yeah, I mean, like I'm also sure that like this doesn't rival anything. You know what I mean? Because it's mainly because like I try not to have too high of an expectation of any show, right? And Loki blew me out of the fucking water, especially with season 1. As season 1, simply for me, back to back, every decision, everything in that first season was literal perfection. And to be honest. You said that you preferred the directing in season 2. I don't. I think season 1 for me was still stronger in that aspect, mainly because of the cinematography. There are so many more memorable shots for me in season 1. For example, the massive one take when the city's collapsing in episode 3, when they're on that rogue planet. First of all, the fucking whiplash that you get Como se dice, Sylvie is at the TVA, she's killing all these guys, she's gonna overthrow them, and then Loki comes in last second, and then they're fighting each other, and then the judge comes around, and Sylvie's holding Loki hostage. I'm gonna kill him, I'm gonna do it, and the judge is like, do it. I don't give a shit. It's like, oh fuck, right? Yeah. And so Sylvie's like, Loki grabs her. They go through a portal. And it's like, where did we land? I'm like, oh, they probably landed somewhere okay. Like, oh, they're going to be okay. They're just talking their differences out in a shack, right? They open the door, and it's a fucking alien planet that is currently about to be struck with a fucking moon. Like, what the fuck? Hold on. Where are we? What's going on?
No, that planet looks like something straight out of Borderlands.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying, bro. It's so fucking... The whiplash is so hard. It's like... Where the fuck are we? Like, I thought you think we're on Earth, right? Like, just like, oh, maybe it's a hurricane, something, right? No, this is like full-on disaster. Billions are about to die, you know? Like, shit is crazy.
And like the TVA is all like brown and orange, and then this planet's purple. As fuck.
Yeah. Massive color palette difference too.
Yeah.
You know? Como se dice, but you got stuff like that. You got the entire Void sequence, and I think it was episode 5. Oh man,
the Void is great,
especially with all the different Lokis. Fucking Gator Loki. Oh my god, I love it. It's like, why do you guys have a gator? It's like, that's a Loki. What? That's Loki? It's like,
like what timeline is that?
Oh, fuck yeah. and then Gator Loki took off Presidential Loki's arm. It's like, what the fuck? Oh, wait, hold on. Jesus.
And then everyone just started fucking fighting. Like, what is happening right now?
Shit was crazy, bro.
All the Lokis are fighting for power in the Void, which of course they fucking would.
You know, I'm remembering it now, but it's crazy that people are angry about that Infinity Stone shit. Really?
Yeah, it's
silly.
I mean, at the time, I don't know how people feel about it now because it's been a while. But at the time, I remember people were pissed, and I'm like, it's literally just Marvel telling your audience, "Hey, we're done with the Infinity Stones. We're moving on to bigger and better things." Right. That's it. That's all that scene was for.
And even
also to tell you, Infinity Stones don't work outside their universe.
Right, and even then, it's shocking to see. You know what I mean? Because like, damn, I guess they're not. You know what I mean? Like they were in the moment, but now it's like, okay, we're getting bigger than that. Now we're talking about timelines. Now we're talking about manipulation of time, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it's like Infinity Stones are kind of out of the wheelhouse here. We're not talking about Thanos. We're not talking about the world ender. You know, we're talking about timeline enders now. It's a completely different thing. Yeah. So. I don't... People... You know what I think? A lot of those people that were mad at that decision just didn't see the show. Yeah. You know what I mean?
They saw an out-of-context clip with the Infinity Stones, and they're like, but Infinity War. It's like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, exactly. Like, no, my thing is, right, and I can understand where the initial hate could come from, because you got shows that people didn't like, and they thought they were devaluing the MCU, right? Like, they thought, like, the MCU is being dragged down by these newer shows after Endgame. There's nothing good coming out. You know, those fucking purists out there, that think it's a good idea to just rag on everything after Endgame. It should have ended at Endgame. I agree to an extent, but considering how much they're going to continue cooking, I'm just gonna say for now, I'm open to the MCU continuing. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean,
I really think Loki would have been perfect if it was the first release after Endgame.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it definitely would.
Yeah.
But unfortunately,
you just would have hyped everything up more.
Right.
Like Phase 4, you start with Loki. Damn.
Yeah, I agree. It's just a matter of I'm trying to speak English. It's hard for me. You know, it's just a matter of like we got WandaVision, we got Spider-Man Far From Home, and then we have a bunch of Far From Home was the end of that phase, but still, you know, we have we have Far From Home, and then we have the other movies that came out, like Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. You have what came out before Loki? I forget. It's been a long time.
It was WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, and I think Black Widow.
And Falcon and the Winter Soldier and Black Widow were kind of where people were like, kind of, okay, it's starting to get lower. It's the quality starting to drop.
I like Falcon and Winter Soldier, but I didn't like Black Widow.
Yeah, I don't like Black Widow either. It's, you know, I watched it in the moment and I was like, okay, there's some cool moments. Like, oh, there's some cool action. I like the actor for the big guy, the big Russian. I don't know his name.
Oh yeah, David Harbour.
Yeah, and I like
Yeah,
him.
he's great in everything.
Of course, right? That's obvious. Gran Turismo, everything.
Yeah.
But besides that, there was no real like significance to it. I didn't enjoy it at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was just like okay. You know, my thing is right is that usually like a film that isn't the strongest kind of gets away with a full watch because of like sex appeal or like how good everything looks. For example, Resident Evil, Mila Jovovich. Yes, you know what I mean. Or your example, Underworld, right, with Kate Beckinsale. Yeah. So that kind of stuff. There tend to be films that like get away with like a plot that's corny or not so well thought out because of the sex appeal, and not just with the women, but you also have the guys that like the ideal body type. They're ripped and they milk it, they juice it like Twilight. You know what I mean? They really milk those scenes, and not only do they do, and not only the sex appeal of the people, but the sex appeal of the cinematography, what you're seeing on screen. They really try to up the levels with what you're seeing, to try to keep you attached. But then if you actually listen to what the movie's saying, you realize it's all schlock. It's all shit that you've heard a million times over. You know what I mean? That's it. It's just nice window dressing. That's it.
Yeah, pretty much. Going back to Loki, it's interesting going into it as well, because that was originally the show I was least excited for. Yeah, because Falcon and Winter Soldier, I'm like, okay, this is the story of the new Captain America. I'm interested. WandaVision, they're finally, pulling the trigger on Wanda, turning evil a little bit. I was interested. Loki, why the fuck does he need a show? Like, what? Like, I like him in the
not
horror
even
movies,
the Loki we know. It's a variant. Like, it's just some guy. It's just old Loki. That's it.
Yeah, it was like, how are they gonna explain this shit? Like, what the fuck? And then you watch it, and it's the only one that has a plot that was made to be a show.
Yeah.
Because Falcon and Winter Soldier is just a 6-hour movie. WandaVision started off as a show and then turned into a movie. That's pretty much how it felt.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm still pissed about WandaVision. If they had the balls to actually go through with, Scarlet Witch is the main problem, and we're trying to talk down Scarlet Witch, and that's it. They didn't even have the balls to pull that trigger until Multiverse of Madness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, pull the trigger. Let Scarlet Witch be the bad guy. Why does she need to be tempted by Agatha? Let her be the bad guy. Why is, you know what I mean? It's a joke. Why make Agatha the main antagonist here? You know? That's her name, right? Agatha, I think.
Yeah, Agatha. And now she's getting her own show because reasons.
Yeah, I hope it's good. I hope it's good because I like that actor. That being said, I don't think it will be. I'm just being honest.
Yeah, that's fair. And then, we talked in the last podcast about fan service. Loki had fan service.
Oh, yeah.
Lady Sif had a cameo in season 1.
Who had a cameo?
Lady Sif from Thor 1 and 2.
Yeah. When
she was like the repeating like fucking memory.
Yeah.
That he got trapped in. Yeah.
Kept kicking him in the balls. It's like, well, stop, please.
That's hell.
Yeah, that is hell. Fuck that. Yeah, man, I'd be like those shorts where like they learn the fight choreography of their woman. You know what I mean? So it's like she tries to slap him and he blocks, dodge, block.
But also, this is Lady Sif you're talking about. She's literally like the warrior of Asgard.
Yeah, she's a god. Yeah. That's an issue. Fucking hell, that's still funny as fuck. Oh, man, poor Loki. Holmes had to sacrifice his balls for the bit. Good for him.
Yeah, he ain't having kids.
Tom Hiddleston's no longer having children because of Loki. You're welcome.
I wonder if she accidentally hit him in the balls at any point.
Oh, Jesus Christ. No, I can imagine like the radiation from the time, like, oh yeah, that was real, guys. Yeah, no, he's a cancer patient now. He's gonna die in like 2 years. What? No, hold on, wait a minute.
That's wild.
Yeah, no, Jonathan Majors has like 20 twins, and so we sacrificed about like 18 of them just to make this. Yeah.
Oh, you think these are variants? No, they're just different actors.
They're just different. Yeah. They all die. Yeah, that's it.
Yes. Damn, you go back to that post-credit scene in Ant-Man Quantumania where you have all the Kangs in the fucking stadium.
Yeah.
Dude, and it's all different actors. Dude, that would have been wild if that was all different people.
Nah, bro. Yeah, I like Kang. I like Jonathan Majors' performance. But the the MCU fan in me, the glorious villain fan in me, really thinks that the antagonist for Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is still stronger. I'm just saying.
High Evolutionary?
Yes.
Dude, I mean, you're not wrong for thinking that. High Evolutionary.
Dude is peak. I'm sorry, like
Such a good fucking villain.
dude is peak. Like the way that he was talking to the fucking raccoon is like he was mocking him. He was talking his shit. Like, dude was a fucking villain. You hated him at the end. While Jonathan Major's character, it's like, I understand where you're coming from. You know what I mean? It's like, I understand. I see where you're coming from. I disagree with you because you're taking away people's free will. But I understand that there is no better option. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I see where you're coming from. But with the High Evolutionary, it's just like, fuck everybody. I'm the best. No one's perfect. Everyone's fucking, everyone's disgusting. Everyone's imperfect. We need to make a perfect civilization. And we're going to sacrifice everyone else.
That's why I stepped in.
Yeah. You know? Like, he's a villain. I fucking hated him. You know what I mean? So, like, I'm just saying, like, if you want to make somebody that's truly detestable, High Evolutionary is a good example. That's the truth.
Oh, for sure.